my Ask Dr. Lulu. I'm live on Ask Dr. Lulu, and we're about to go live on Teen Alive, and then we're good to go. Buenas tardes. I don't know if the light is. Can everyone hear me? Hi, Patience. Hi, Ellis, my girl. Buenas tardes. How is everyone? Let me tell you something. I have to say, I want everyone to please take a moment to say a big, huge, ginormous thank you to my boys. I swear, it takes a whole group of children to get their mother ready for a Facebook Live every Sunday, okay? Today is no exception. So we're going to discuss, as luck would have it, we're talking about 7 things your teens, or 7 activities, however you want to name it, your teens should engage in this summer in order to stay busy. So, good afternoon. I did my very, very best to start early, but don't you know, never fails. So, how is everyone doing? How was your week? Hi, Adeze. Hi, Alice. Hi, Patience. Hi, Dr. Pat. What's going on, Dr. Pat? Stay tuned, please, till the end. I want to ask you, well, you already know what the favor is, but we're going to start recording. So I need you to stay tuned till the end if you can, okay? Hi, everybody. I'm going to try to stand today, but I hope everyone is doing good. My name is Dr. Lulu. We're going to jump right into it. I'm a national keynote speaker on child, teen, and young adult depression and suicide, and I help parents communicate better with their children so that they can understand their kids better, and then their kids don't end up on the wrong side of suicide. Pretty much, we're just going to keep it simple. So I help parents, especially moms, communicate better with their teens and their children so they don't end up on the wrong side of suicide and depression. So, hi, Veronica, my classmates. Hello, buenas tardes. So let's get started. So 7 things your teens should do this summer. And if anyone saw my blog post that I finally was able to finish up at 2 a.m. this morning, that's the same topic as what we're going to be discussing today. 7 things your teens should do this summer to stay busy and to stay out of trouble. So if you're like me, I run a boys' hostel, is what I call it. I have 3 sons, and they're very active, and they're very busy, and they're very different. So if you're like me, you're wondering, oh my God, the kids are home, what to do, right? It's summertime. Your refrigerator door opens every 3 to 5 minutes, and it's the same contents in the refrigerator, but they're checking it every 3 to 5 minutes, like the contents have changed, right? And you're just wondering, what am I going to do to keep these kids busy? My boys are aged 14 through 21. So it's a huge range of ages, and each age group or each age bracket has a different interest and just a different thing that they want to do. So what do we do? How do you keep these children engaged this summer? How do you get them to stay busy and out of trouble? So the first thing to do is, when I was graduating a couple of weeks ago, my brother came from Nigeria to visit. And one thing we discussed was just, what to do the first couple of weeks when they get back from school. And he said he just lets the kids distress. And so, yes, that's what I do too. I let them usually first week, but he kind of tucked me into the first 2 weeks. And my middle son, my middle man child, came home in the middle of the week, on the week that he came home. So he got about 10 days to just do nothing but just distress, just relax or relaxate, however word you want to use, just take it easy. So the first week or 2 after school, look, let me tell you something. They've had a hard time at school. They've had exams, they've had, deadlines, they've had projects, they've had things to do. Even my baby who is in middle school, who's a rising freshman in high school, even though he's a stay-at-home kid still, he's had a huge semester of just curriculums, from sports to every kind of things that they do. I mean, homework and whatever that they bring home. So even when he's in school, even though he's at home, I'm still not able to connect with him like if he was just at home and on vacation. So that first week or so of school letting out, I just let them relax and just be themselves. So I want you to do the same thing. But as anything good is, you have to plan ahead. So hopefully, in as much as you're letting them have the first week and even week and a half free, you want to, as the mother or as a father, to also have had a plan in place for what they're going to do after that first week or two is gone. So first week or two, you want the kids to just relax and just be themselves. Of course, they're always going to be on their cell phones. You know what? I almost don't want to say this, but let them, okay? Let them just relax. For me, my boys still have their housework. And so that first week or two of school, of being out of school, you can play on your cell phone if you like, but you still have to do your housework. And the basic housework is just trimming the hedges, mowing the lawn, doing their dishes, walking the dog, eating dinner together as a family, things like that. That's the first week out of school. Just let them be themselves, okay? Just relax and just let them be themselves. But they must do their housework. They must do their housework. And so if you're a mother like me, you've already assigned them their chores. They know their chores. They're going to do their chores regardless, okay? And then you can get a break because if you're doing all the chores yourself anyway while they've been in school. So let them just relax. The second thing, and almost as important as relaxing, is making sure that in the summer, your kids get their doctor's appointments, okay? So when I was in active private practice, I always scheduled all my patients to come and have their physicals in the summer. Now, I picked the summer because it's a downtime for me. I mean, kids are not in school, so they don't get as sick. They're not as, they just don't get as sick, so the office is relatively not as busy. So generally, I let them just get all their physicals in the summer. Same thing with your kids. Try to schedule ahead of time so that you can get, get time off from work to go with them to the doctor's office. But also so they can go to the doctor's office. They need to get their vision done every year. They need to get their dental done every year. And some kids need to get their hearing done every year. They need to get their vaccines updated every year. And if they had any little concerns that they had during the school year, like my baby plays basketball, so there's always a knee pain or an ankle pain or something going on somewhere. And so ensure that they also do get that checked out in the summer. Summer is downtime for most doctors' offices. Summer is downtime for you and your kids also. So ensure that they have their doctor's appointments scheduled. Together with the doctor's appointments is also their self-care. My middleman child, let me tell you something. He will not go and have even his beard trimmed while he's in college. He comes home with the beard, with the hair. Oh my God. So self-care, right? And also ensure that, in addition to self-care, is brushing their teeth every day, washing their hands when they're using the bathroom. There's a little joke going on between the two of them, the two that are home now, that they don't wash their hands when they leave the bathroom. Oh my God, when they use the bathroom. I promise you, I raise them right. But when they get older, they start doing kind of weird things. So this guy does not apparently wash his hands after using the restroom. Needless to say, when I heard that stopped. But just little things like that, okay? So ensure that they are also on top of that. So please, if you're watching me, do me a favor and write down what I'm saying. I completely forgot to say so on. And if you're watching me on a replay, which I usually give you guys a high five, please let me know that you're watching on the replay when you do log on. And Miss Victoria Fumi says, thanks, that's a great reminder. I'm not sure what for. Hopefully it's for the physicals. But yes, I do two things. If my patient has a birthday during the school year, I get their physicals with their birthday. The best time to do your physical is with your birthday. Just know that, okay? But if they can't come in to have their physical because it's around their birthday, then that's fine. Get it in the summer. So 2 things so far. First thing to do is let them relax for the first week or 2 of school. Listen, it's 2 to 3 months. You can give them a week off, okay? Let them just relax and just enjoy, just be themselves. And the second thing is get those doctor's appointments in. Trust me, you don't want to wait till the end to do that. You will forget. So get those appointments in ahead of time, okay? And then the third thing to do is, if you know me, you know I'm huge. I'm big on reading. I know most people don't visit each other these days because we live so far away from each other, but I have bookshelves and bookcases just overflowing with books. I'm a big reader. In fact, we donate books to the library and then take some books back from the library. I'm a big reader. So I make the boys, they hate it, but I make them read in the summer. So now that they've gotten older and they think they can run over me. I let them pick the books that they're going to read. And I think it should be fun like that. They should be allowed to pick the books that they want to read if they want to. When they were much younger, I used to assign books to them. And then, so luckily, thank you, Jesus, they like to read. But ensure that you include reading in their curriculum when the summer hits. They will forget some of their schoolwork. Now, I have a rising high school freshman. So I'm assuming I don't really know all the things that they can do in the high school, but his brothers have been through high school. 1, 2, there is Khan Academy. So go to Khan Academy and find the appropriate age and let them do some schoolwork. They can read a book, which I love, or they can do some math or science or whatever. I mean, there's always something that they can do on Khan Academy. Just find their age appropriate content on Khan Academy, and they can stay active with their schoolwork. Usually we just do 2 hours a day of school work. That is like pulling a tooth for these boys, but they hate it, but they have to do it. And now that I work from home, I'm home with them anyway, so we're all reading at the same 2 hours. We're all reading, and I need to read too, because I've been doing my online stuff so much. I've taken kind of falling off the bandwagon of reading. So I'm actually excited that I can get back into reading beginning this week, because this is the second week. This is going to be the first full week of him being home. So again, the first thing is let him relax, and some self-care or physicals with their doctors, healthcare matters, and of course, bookwork. Either reading a book, just a novel, which I love to do, or doing some kind of school work that is involved in and you can find that on Khan Academy. Okay. And then the fourth thing is, oh my God, if you know me, this is almost like a broken record now. It's volunteer. Can someone please write down volunteer for me? You want these kids to volunteer. I just did my 4th Habitat for Humanity home that I built, and my baby son just got old enough to join me with that. But his brothers have been doing this for a while. But guess what? We're going to go volunteer with the food bank, and we're going to go volunteer with the Ronald McDonald House. There is a website, there's a link. I'm not going to promise that I'll put it, I might not remember, but there is a link you can use to put in your, to just type up volunteer opportunities near me. And they break it out into ages. You can do the Red Cross. You can go to the hospital for those who want to be doctors or nurses or something in that realm, pharmacists. They can go volunteer at the local hospital. Most of those hospitals, they have the pretty uniforms for the kids. They can do that. They can volunteer at a dog shelter, an animal shelter with a veterinarian, for those who want to become veterinarians. They can volunteer. Oh my God, there's so many places to volunteer. I love Habitat for Humanity. I love Meals on Wheels. I love their sandwich shops, their sandwich and soup kitchens. Lots and lots of places that they can volunteer. Just go into your city website and look it up. You will find something where the kids can volunteer. Trust me, you want them to volunteer. Volunteering builds character. It builds empathy. It builds compassion. It builds kindness. It just helps you develop a different kind of non-selfish love. The agape, the real kind of love for others. A long time ago, I remembered I learned the definition of joy was J is for Jesus, O is for others, and Y is for yourself. So put Jesus, God, whatever deity you worship first, put others second, and of course, put yourself last. So that's the definition of joy. So if that is the definition of joy, then you need to put yourself after you've volunteered. And believe it or not, kids that are bored and kids that are saying that, oh, they don't have anything, they don't know what to do, they're feeling sorry for themselves, put them to work by volunteering. And you don't even have to go too far away. If you have a neighbor who is elderly, your sons or your daughters can help clean up their house for them. They can help maybe mow the lawn for them. They can help pick up their mail. There are lots of things. And you can even take them with you to an elderly people's home, and they can also volunteer. Just go and sit with them and just talk with them. Most of those grandparents and older people or whatever, not just grandparents, but just elderly, let me rephrase that. Most of those elderly, they actually like it when people come and just hang out with them and just be with them, because their kids cannot be with them all the time. And there's only so much that the workers can do. So have your kids volunteer in a place like that. That's actually a lot of fun. Felicia says she has her kids volunteering for a few organizations throughout the summer. Yes, girl, high five. You know you're my girl. Yes, so she has her kids volunteering at separate different places this summer. And if Felicia, if you don't mind, could you please write down the places that your kids are volunteering at so that people can see? But indeed, we have people that are already doing these things. So if you're just joining me, there's a bunch of people online. If you're just joining me, today we're talking about 7 things your children can do, your teens or your children can do this summer to stay busy, occupied, and out of trouble. And if you're watching the replay, whenever you do log on, let me know that you're watching the replay, okay? And give me some high five and give me some loves. So far we've discussed the first 4 things. Allow them to relax the first week, first 2 weeks. Let them just distress. It's 2 to 3 months. There's plenty of time, okay? Second thing is get those physicals in. Get those dentals, get those visions, get those general physicals in, get those shots in. Anyone who is going anywhere, you know that you need to have your shot records updated. Update those with the doctor. Get them to get their haircuts. My son, my middle man, comes home looking like, I don't know, something that the cat literally just came and dropped at the door with no shave, nothing. And I love it because then I just go to work. And then when my brother came to visit, God bless him, he went to work on the boys and cut their hair and shaved them and just did everything. And just so nice. You just love extended family when they're there for you. Okay. Then, of course, number 5 is get that summer job. Let me tell you something. I was raised in Nigeria, in a country where, at least in the days when I was a teen, we didn't really have summer jobs. The concept of summer jobs wasn't really there. And I don't even know if it's there yet. But certainly, it wasn't there when I was growing up. Could I have gotten a summer job? Probably. But I didn't know what that concept was. In America, it's different. For 5 reasons. Your kids need the extra change. It's just chicken change. It's not really anything big, but they need it for their own, whatever that they want to do. It's not any heavy duty stuff. They're not paying for their cell phones, or they're not paying for, they don't have a car, they're not buying gas. But certainly you can do that if you want to. That is one way that they can have extra spending money. But getting a job helps build character. It helps them get a little taste of adulthood. Helps them with time management, help them with money management, helps them to learn how to interact with other people besides their siblings and their family, because sometimes if you want to volunteer, you might volunteer with your friends and all of you stick together, but you can't do that at work. If you have a regular job, you are forced to learn to live with other people and learn to be with other people, learn to coexist with other people, learn to be let down. They need to learn how someone is like, oh, they're supposed to work this shift, but they called in sick because maybe they were really sick. And then you get called to pick up their shift. The kids need to learn those little things. And in America, thankfully, at the age of 13, you can start babysitting. So I love America for that. America allows the kids to build up that little piece of adulthood that is so necessary for their growth and their development and just their emotions and everything all put together. So absolutely, I recommend getting a job. When your child gets a job, it doesn't mean that you as a parent are pimping them, or it doesn't mean that you as a parent are not being a parent. Actually, I love it. I love the fact that my kids get dressed in the morning and go somewhere, and then they have to get there on time. They cannot be late and things like that. Of course, it's only so many hours that they can work. Even my 14-year-old son caught himself working this past school year. He was a referee for the football team in his school, and he got paid. He made paper. He made like $329 in the last semester. That is some money for a little 14-year-old. Of course, it's in his account. His account that's got my name on it because it's a minor. But every now and again, he goes and looks at his little money, and he's going to get a little bit of interest, and he's going to get $10 here, $10 there to do his little thing that he wants to do. But it's so good, and he felt so grown, so proud to announce that he got a job, and he was only 14. So absolutely, I say go for it. If you have a teenager, put them to work, okay? And it doesn't have to be organized work. My middle son got a job with the BMW, the local BMW here, doing one thing or the other, but it doesn't have to be that organized. It could just be mowing the lawn for the neighbors, walking the dog for the neighbors, mowing your lawn, and other things that you want to do. My middle son actually is my virtual, not virtual, but He's my assistant this summer. He's helping me a lot with my events coming up. He's helping me with emails and sending out messages and just my marketing aspect. He's helping me set up my podcast. I mean, and he's getting paid X amount of dollars per hour. But I mean, he's getting paid by me. So it's good to put them to work. And now his baby brother, who was giving me a headache when I was asking him to help me, is now indignant because it's like, well, I was the one that's supposed to be doing it for. I said, yeah, but when I asked you to help me, you were giving me the hard time. And now his brother got a job with me, a second job. And so I say it's good. And you know what? Let me tell you something. When you ask your son to do, or your child to do you a favor, they give you that look. But when they know that you're paying them for it, first of all, that's 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day that is not on his phone. Okay? He's not playing video games. That is 4 hours a day when he's helping me to move my side gig to the permanent site. You know, so he's really helping me. So I say, honestly, if you have a teenager and you're wondering what to do, if you have any little jobs that you need someone to do it for you, please just negotiate the pay. Actually, I was going to pay him $10 an hour. He was like, no, mom, it's okay. I'll take $5. I'm like, sure, let's shake on it, you know? So, but the point is, he's happy to do it. He's getting paid for it. So why not? Why not? Okay. And then, what number was that? So relax, self-care and physicals, read or do schoolwork, volunteer, get that job, hang out with the friends. Well, I'm going to do that last. Travel is number 6. So I know how this will sound, and I know it could potentially rack up on money. It could potentially be expensive. But I have to say thanks to my parents. When I was 16, I think, or maybe 15, when I was in high school, I did French. I took French, and I won a competition in school that allowed me to do an exchange student program. I got to go to Togo, which is a neighboring country to Nigeria, for a summer. I can't remember if it was 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever the length of time. Let me tell you, to this date, first of all, my French is bad, but also to this date, I remember that. I remember going to a different country and living in a hostel and meeting other people from other countries and speaking a foreign language and just getting to know them, singing with them, laughing with them, walking around with them, and just being with them and just learning their culture and their food and the smell and just everything. And I just fell in love with Togo. Okay, and there's Benin Republic, and of course there's Ghana. I got to visit Ghana for a minute, for like a week or so when I was taking my exams. And then when I was even maybe a younger adult, my parents, thanks to them, we got to go to Germany on vacation, and just being able to, and the UK, oh my God, my siblings went to school there. I got to go visit them and just hang out with them. There's nothing as powerful as going to a different country, eating the food of a different country, the way it is made. Not the way it's made in your country, but the way it is made in their country. Learning their language. And then the sights and sounds, the people, the culture, the music, the life. Nothing as good as that. And so I haven't told her this yet, but one of my guests that's going to be on my podcast is my niece. Her name is Christine. That chica is killing it. She's in China as I speak now. She's a junior in college. She's in China as I speak now. My son got to go to Spain last year for his as part of his ensemble, his orchestra ensemble from Stanford. His brothers and I got to visit the Bahamas. We've been there a couple of times, but just being, and we've gone to Canada, we've gone to Mexico, but just being able to go to a different country. Yes, America is 51 small countries. That's true. Each state, I mean, Texas is bigger than Nigeria, but it's still America. So I want you to, if you can afford it, send your teens out on their own. My middleman child is going to be going for a study abroad program with his architecture class next year from Texas Tech, and he's going to go by himself. There's nothing as beautiful as letting them go. You're like, remember like that analogy I gave you as a kite? The kids are like a kite. You have the rope of the kite, but you're letting them soar, right? But if they're going too close to the tree, what do? You tug at them and you move them around a little bit. So it's the same thing. Allow your kids to travel by themselves. I went when I was 15 or 16 to Togo. When I was younger, I might have gone to like an aunt or an uncle for vacation, but it's not the same thing to go to a different country, get on the plane, on an international flight. It is powerful. And if you can't go too far, send them to Mexico, send them to Canada. I mean, there are places around that they can go to. You can even send them to California. California is like a different country. But I'm just saying it's important that your child learns that piece of life that they can only learn by themselves, how to find their flight, how to miss a flight, and just things like that, or how to ask questions and look into people's eyes, and when you're lost, what to do, things like that is so powerful. Of course, in January, I got to travel to Singapore and Vietnam with my class and my MBA class, another opportunity to visit Southeast Asia that I've never been to, but I was as an adult, but it was still like, oh my God, to me as an adult. So imagine a child. So yes, number 6 is allow them to travel if you can afford it. You will be glad you did. And then the last thing is allow them to hang out with their friends. So ultimately, a teenager's life is molded by a combination of you as the parent, their relatives and all that, and their friends. Whether you vet the friends or not, you need your teenagers to be allowed to hang out with their friends. I pushed the hell back on this when my first son was trying to do that. Poor kid. I learned with him. I learned everything that I know as a parent with that boy. And every now and then I get really emotional when I talk about him. But I wouldn't let him. No, you're not going, And then as I got older and he got older, and then one day he told me, he said, one of the things he regrets, he said, I was a great parent. I am a great parent. But one of the things that he felt that I was lacking was I just never let him hang out with his friends. You know what? Hindsight is 2020. If you ask me now, would I do it again? Probably not, because I know better now. But then there's nothing anybody would have told me to make me allow that kiddo hang out with his friends, spend the night. Oh my God. Night on what do you call it? Sleepover. Oh my God, never, not me. But not anymore. I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm a lot more relaxed, and I'm doing better. And so I don't know, what are you gonna do? In life, you just have to grow up and grow out. And so for me, I'm doing better with allowing my children to hang out with their friends more. And then, and if you read my blog post from this morning, Anjali says, upcoming week, I want to interact my daughters to Dr. Lulu. I'm not sure what she's saying, but I'm going to say something about that in the end. But real quick, before I forget, allow your kids to hang out with their friends, whether you vet the friends or not. For me, the standing rule is if you're going to hang out with your friend, I need their parent to call me. So that's the standing rule. The parent has to call me. Now that I have a 19-year-old, soon to be 19, and a 21-year-old, maybe not, but they still know to give me the name of the friend that they're going to hang out with, their phone numbers, where they're going to be. I mean, you know what? Kids actually like that. They want to know that you care about them. I'm not putting a GPS on their car, but I certainly want to know where you're going. I want to know who you're going to be with. I want to know. I don't want to be one of those ones that, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. And case in point, my middleman child last week came home and wanted to go hang out with his friends one afternoon. And I was like, sure. It was at 5:00 in the afternoon. I was like, sure. He took the car. Within an hour, he was back. I'm like, what happened? Why are you back? And he said, oh, apparently those friends wanted to go to a pool to go drinking at 5:00 in the afternoon. I didn't know about this, but my young man made a U-turn and came back home. I was full of love for that boy, full of admiration and pride, that I raised him right. I mean, it takes a village, I know, but at least I did something right with that little guy. And he came back on his own. He was like, no, first of all, he said, I don't like to be around people that drink. And I was like, oh, wow, nice, because we don't drink. But also, he just didn't want to be around people that were going to a pool and drinking. I mean, he can drive, he doesn't drink, but I'm just happy that he was able to think about that, is all I'm saying. So I say, you know what, plant the seeds, water them, and they will grow. And he's also the one child that whenever he goes to his friends and he's hanging out, he sends me a text like at 9 o'clock, Mom, I'm still alive, LOL. And he might think it's funny, but for me, I love it. I love the fact that he remembers to check on his mom and to tell me that he's okay. You know, things like that is just a habit that we formed together, and it works just fine. His brother's not as good as him with checking back with me, but they still do. And so that's all I had today. 7 things I want you to allow your kids to do this, your teens and your children to do this summer, to keep them out of trouble and to keep them busy. So if you can think of any other points, please let me know. Just holler at your girl. Let me know anything that I left out, because of course I don't know everything. Those are my 7. And if anybody has any ideas, let me know. And other than that, so the 7 things are relax the first 2 weeks, let them just relax. Self-care, healthcare, physicals, things like that. Get those done right away. Get those scheduled if you don't get them done right away. Read. Oh my God, my kids must do 2 hours a day. It's just me. They can go to library, they can do it at home, but they're going to do their 2 hours a day of school work, be it Khan Academy, be it reading a book, something. And that's 2 hours that they're not on the phone. Okay. They were going to volunteer. That's for sure. We're going to volunteer. There's no question about it. They're going to volunteer. And one of my patient's moms, Miss Felicia, had actually included a link to where she was able to find the volunteer places that she took her kids to. So that's great. Thank you, Felicia. I appreciate that interaction. And then, of course, get that job. If your kid is 13 and older, they can get a job. They can get paid, whether they're working with you or they're working with, some fancy company. They are working. That is important. They can travel. Allow them to travel by themselves if they're old enough. I know my kids went on a company when they were like 7 and 9 or something to Nigeria. So I mean, I've gone rogue on traveling with allowing my kids to travel. So I mean, they went by themselves to Nigeria, and the air hostesses spoiled them to pieces and all that. But I did that. And of course, I forgot to mention that my kids have been to Nigeria multiple times. I mean, that's another way of also exposing them to a totally different culture, totally different world than they are used to. Even though they're Nigerians, there are 6 degrees of separation between us here and Nigeria. So my kids have been to Nigeria multiple times. That's another thing that I forgot to mention. And last but not least, allow them to hang out with their friends. Allow them to make those mistakes. Allow them to pick their friends. Vet their friends if you want to. I usually go mother to mother with my kids' friends, but allow them to hang out with their friends over the summer. That's also good. You can come up with whatever rules of engagement you like, but allow them to hang out with their friends in the summer. So that is all I had. And if you give me 1 minute, I'm going to give you a little bonus. So first of all, if you don't know this yet, my website is called teenalive.com. Stop by and visit. You might learn a thing or two. I have a free PDF that you can download that tells you signs that your child is depressed. And I'm going to update it to include signs that your child is depressed and or suicidal. So log on to teenalive.com and get my monthly newsletter. I promise you, I will only send you a newsletter once a month. I'm not going to go over once a month. I'm not one of those people that send you newsletters up and down. No, it's not going to happen. Or emails, rather. I don't like it. I subscribe in a minute. I unsubscribe in a minute. So I don't want anybody to ever unsubscribe from me. So you get it once a month and that's it. And you will miss out if you're not already receiving my newsletters. They're full of nuggets, I think, if I may say so myself. And then also, I'm doing a 100 miles in the month of June challenge. If you haven't seen that already, as of this morning, I did my day 2. I know it's still early, but hey, I'm walking 100 miles. Felicia, who's watching me, is one of my victims. She joined and signed up, so that's great. We're just walking 100 miles for the month of June. I'm doing about 3.35 miles a day, and that's it. But you can come up with any combination you like. You can do 10 miles one day and 3 miles the other. You can do no miles at all, whatever you like. But we're doing 100 miles for the month of June. So if you don't know that, hit me up and I'll include you to the group of that little support group that we have for each other. We're going to try to do 100 miles in the month of June. And then I have a mini course. Anjali, that's what I was going to tell you. I have a mini course coming out. It's free. It's a free mini course. It's going to be called How to Communicate Effectively with Your Teens. Now, for me, believe it or not, teens begins at the age of 8. So if you have a child that is 8 and up to about 21, that is what I'm talking about. So how to communicate effectively with your teens is my mini online course that's coming out. So I'm gonna just kind of keep your ears close to the ground, and I'll keep you guys posted as to where I'm gonna put the link and all of that. So it's gonna be a free mini course, no more than 30 minutes at the most. How to effectively communicate with your teens. Okay. Hey, you know what? I guess I'm doing it. I mean, this online thing, I was kind of reluctant, but I don't want to miss the bus, so I'm doing that. Other than that, for the month of June, as you all know, I'll be in DC talking on December 27th at AMPA. Otherwise, in July, I have my next two events, one in Dallas, Texas, and one in San Antonio. So please, if you know someone who lives in San Antonio or Dallas, if you have a child aged 8 through 18, do come out. You will learn a lot. You will learn a lot, okay? Other than that, that's all I had today. So if you give me one moment, I'm going to say a quick thank you to everyone. I have Ellis, my girl, Noemania Lewis. Hi. My mom is in the building. Otherwise, I have Carmen Landau, Victoria Fumi, Tawanda Frazier. Hi, Tawanda. Stephanie Tweedy. Hey, girl. Rebecca Echakara. Hi, sweetheart. Richard J. Jr. Hello. Onyinyechi Stephen. Ruth Odochi. Ruth Odochi, we are actually collaborating with her in Dallas for our program that we're having in Dallas. So she's with the Comfort Foundation. She's doing great work on suicide prevention. You need to find her on Facebook and follow her on social media. She's awesome, awesome stuff. Justin Thompson, hi, sweetie. Doc Maria Trent, hey, girl. Tooth Barnes, Felicia Arrington, and Jessica Alba. Fantastic. I love it, I love it, I love it. If you give me 1 second, I'm going to find those guys on my regular page. Free Hess, hey, girl. Bricia said, send me the link for Dallas. Yes, I will. I will. Bricia Moyombo, hi, Chinome. Thanks for sharing great tips. Thank you. Michael McKenzie is watching. I'm going to give you a high five. Anjali Pundir, love to join your course. Awesome, awesome. So I have a free online course coming up. Just stay tuned. It won't be more than a week before it's live, okay? This summer, my daughter set a target to arrange books for slum kids. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is amazing. Her daughters are going to arrange books for slum kids. That is amazing. Amazing volunteer opportunity. Sylvester Awago, hi. Janet Kasham Solomon, hello. Carla McEwen, I missed you in Lancaster. Hey, girl. Sandy Mandel, hello. Chia Gozier Fawole, funny girl. Hi, sweetie. Louise Lafleur, bonjour. Cookie Caldwell, Kayla Ramos, Henrietta Mutua. Hey, sweetie. Hi, SFL. Bricia Mayombo is watching. Mary Tinsley is watching. Victoria Fumi. You ladies have been awesome. Felicia says, my nephew just spent 3 months in the Gambia with my mother-in-law. He loved it. Did y'all hear that? Her nephew spent 3 months in the Gambia and he loved it. Fantastic. Doesn't get any better than that. Priyanka Draw, you don't have any teenagers yet, but thanks for watching. Joyce Scott, hi, sweetheart. Anjali, hello. Wanda Cotton, Nicole Edwards, hello, hello, hello. Felicia says missioncontinues.org and minorityvets.org. Wonderful websites. Missioncontinues.org and minorityvets.org. If you're just joining us, those are two links to look up for volunteering. So I'm going to add those two links to my blog. Thank you so much, Felicia. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Maduem Gabriel, hi, sweetie. Felicia says, I have my kids volunteering. Yes, we talked about that already. Fantastic. So thank you all so much. That's all I had today. Remember, I always ask for topics to discuss. If you have any ideas. Oh, wait, I've got Karen Rachel is watching. Okay, sorry, Adeze is watching. Shawanda Onwachi Robinson is watching. Ngozi Blessing. Hi, sweetheart. Camel OBGYN. Oh my God. Okay, I see I have a few people. Hi, sweetie. Kudiwu Crystal is watching. Eleanor Gray is watching. Hi, Eleanor. Veronica Carrillo, my sister. And there's a Chigo. And someone said, late night in India. Love your words every time. Well, thank you so much, Anjali. It was so nice hanging out with y'all. And one thing that I'm also doing that I might have forgotten to mention is my podcast. So I'm starting my podcast. I'm starting to record my podcast. I'm really excited. It's called Suicide Pages with Dr. Lulu, the podcast. So essentially, I'm going to be talking about suicide, its ins and outs, its ups and downs, the who's, the whys, the what's, the what ifs, the why nots, everything about suicide. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I'll see you all next Sunday, okay? Let me know if there's anything you want to talk about, okay? God bless you all. Bye. Okay. Bing. If I can get it to turn off. I'm getting all this love from Elise. Hi, Elise. Thank you so much. You are my girl. All right. See y'all next week.